Many of us have been socially conditioned to believe that crying is behavior to be associated with weakness. But if crying is a weakness and is to be avoided, why would it be a part of our natural response to stress? Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Shafer of Talks with Dr. Shafer. I'm a physician, mom, musician, author, publisher, and I am passionate about using storytelling as a tool to help you reclaim your story and build your most beautiful future. Today, I want to welcome you to this short talk on Talks with Dr. Shafer. We're going to address the elephant in the room, that sometimes we are all on the verge of tears. Sometimes life is simply too much, and an excess of emotions, be it fear, frustration, sadness, or grief, build up inside of us and need to be released. But we often fear this release. We were taught as kids that big girls and big boys don't cry. We were taught to smile, to keep on and carry on. In the words of Taylor Swift, I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It sure is an art, isn't it? There's a reason why Taylor Swift's song, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, with its ironic and heart-wrenching lyrics set to a peppy synth pop beat, is resonating with people around the world. Many of us have been socially conditioned to believe that crying is behavior to be associated with weakness, that we should have a stiff upper lip and not show emotions. But if crying is a weakness and is to be avoided, why would it be a part of our natural response to stress? The least natural thing to do, in fact, is to suppress the need to cry. When we stuff our emotions down and suppress them without letting them come out, we're taking an area of high pressure and further pressurizing it. Crying is our body's way of taking really big emotions and really big flows of neurochemicals in our brain and body and releasing them out like a teapot releasing steam as water boils to protect our system from overflow and from eventually exploding. Just like the teapot, our body needs to release excess energy and emotion. Keeping it in will not make it disappear. It has to go somewhere. And when we need to cry and we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with those emotions, and rather than hiding them, take the risk to show that we do have these big emotions, and we process them in the way our bodies intended, we bond in meaningful and strong ways to the people in our lives. Pretending that we're perfect, smiling through the pain, and acting like we don't care are not ways to connect. Avoiding our true emotions, stuffing them, and replacing them with other responses as maladaptive ways to cope, such as blame shifting or becoming unexpectedly angry or avoidant, are also not ways to connect with people using our authentic experiences. When we feel like crying and we simply say, I feel overwhelmed, I need to cry, and we allow ourselves to give in to that process, this provides an opportunity for honest connection with people in our lives. And through the process of mirror neurons, which help us mirror back the emotions that we see others experience and express, this also allows the person we are interacting with an opportunity to meet us in this emotion, to let their guard down, to admit that they too have had moments where they felt like a tea kettle about to explode, and they simply had to let it out, one tear, one cry at a time. And in this moment, we have allowed ourselves to process our pain, our grief, our frustration, whatever emotion it is that we are feeling overwhelmed by in that moment. And we have in turn modeled for someone else that we are a safe space for those big emotions if they need to express them. Not just for the good stuff, not just for the facade we want them to see, but the honest experience for the hard things, for life's challenges. If all we ever show is our strength, or what we think is showing our strength, we won't have the support system in place for when life inevitably provides us with a set of circumstances where we need support. And being vulnerable and saying we need help is one of the strongest things and most necessary things that we can do. If we're too invested in creating the impression of a life and not in building true and honest connections and community, within our lives, we miss out on the benefits of open and honest communication and meaningful connections. This need for connection and ability to mirror one another and take that opportunity as a moment to reflect on our own big emotions and our need to express those as well is in part why we resonate so deeply with stories of challenge, of tragedy. When we see videos on social media about someone's struggles and we have the rare glimpse into their true experiences and the emotions that go along with them, we connect with them in ways that we may have not connected with someone in ages in our so-called real lives. It's why we donate to important causes like the Humane Society when we watch their commercials and understand on a soul-to-soul level the suffering animals are experiencing, even though they can't tell us with words. It's why we love songs that share the heartbreaking truths of life and lay the songwriter's true feelings bare. In a way, we are all just waiting for permission to be our true selves, to be authentic in not only our joy, but also in our pain, to not apologize for how we experience life, but to rather share those experiences in safe and caring spaces. And when we do share our true emotions and allow ourselves to be vulnerable in times of sorrow, when all we can do, all we need to do is cry. After the pressure is released, after we've had our moments to cry and express our frustrations and fears, we often feel peace. Like energy is no longer caught up in the emotions, in the fight or flight cascade of neurochemicals that hijacks our consciousness and attention and body. Now the storm has passed, and we can focus on this moment and how we want to move forward. But we can only get past the storm if we stop trying to outrun it and simply let it go by. Like the buffalo that run into the storm rather than running away from it, because they have learned through centuries of life experience as a collective that the fastest way to be done with the storm is to go straight through it. We can't outrun life's storms. We have to experience them. And once we stop running and allow ourselves to authentically experience life, the good and the bad, then we can take the lessons from those experiences and apply them to how we prepare for the next storm. We know it's coming. Now we simply know to expect the rain, to expect the tears, and to embrace them as a part of the experience of life. Because the garden of life won't grow without rain, and our tears are a necessary part of our experience. I hope if you need to cry sometime this week, that you allow yourself this opportunity to decompress, to acknowledge your experience and needs without shame or embarrassment, and to allow your body to release the excess energy that has been building up so that you can process it and move forward. Thank you for being here on this short talk on Talks with Dr. Shafer. Please let us know how you have connected with loved ones, friends, colleagues, or your community through honesty and vulnerability during challenging times and how it changed your lives. We are all here to learn how to reclaim our stories and build our most beautiful future. And embracing all of our emotions, from happy to sad and everything in between, is an important chapter of that story. Please subscribe to the show so that you don't miss the upcoming inspiring guest episodes and short talks we have here on Talks with Dr. Shafer. Stay safe and take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Everybody's lonely, but you can hold on to me, and I will try to make it right. Everyone needs something. Let me be that